Hello everybody, it's Kayane. I am at Gamescom with Tago-san, the Soulcalibur producer, and there are four characters that have been announced, like Tira, Hilde, Maxi, and Voldo. So I'm going to ask some questions about their gameplay and also some subjects that may interest you. So Tago-san, we see that Namco is closer than for its community than before. So I would like to know if you will follow the game when it will come out.
なるほど。コミュニティとの関係
Not just limited to Soulcalibur, with all of our fighting game titles, we want to connect with the community.
ます。
And of course, it's very important to follow that and look at how the game is progressing after we've released it.
その中の一つ
And so we think that we must do patching and other efforts to connect with the community and keep the game fresh for the community.
と思います。
And we know that arcade version is something really important for some players and also especially for Japanese players. So can we expect Soulcalibur 5 on arcade?
やはり、格闘ゲーム、ファイティングゲーム出してるっていう以上は、
So we're well aware that fighting games need a community and they need a place to gather up and play. And that can be, of course, the arcades themselves or the online experience.
活性化されるというのは我々は認識しています。
Well, it's just my personal opinion, and he's not really sure that it's possible, but we would definitely like to make an arcade version.
Okay, so if you receive a lot of feedbacks to have an arcade version, will you listen to the community?
The Soulcalibur 5 project is actually born purely from the expressions of our fans, the voices of our fans. Therefore, if our fans tell us that we're very much looking for a new arcade version, we will absolutely make it.
Thank you. And I interviewed Arada-san already, and he said that JJPO is not a real solution for the netcode for Soulcalibur 5. So, do you have another solution for the online mode for Soulcalibur 5?
そうですね。格闘ゲーム今 GGPO の採用っていうの
So whether or not GGPO is important or not for a fighting game, what matters more than anything is that the response is very good. It's very fast, it's very accurate and quick. And within our company, we've taken that to heart and we're working with the Tekken team and other internal projects to make our own unique netcode from the ground up, and we think that it will work very well going forward.
新しいその通信プログラムっていうのを今作っている途中です。
You see that Hilde is a character that made a lot of problems in Soulcalibur 4, and the fact that you put her in the game right now shows that you want a balanced game. So her gameplay must have changed in Soulcalibur 5, and in which way she has changed?
Well, for us, the balance issues that came up with Hilda were a bit of a point that was quite embarrassing for us, and it's something we desperately want to challenge. And we quickly noticed and realized that Hilda, she could charge her attacks, and using those charge attacks, she could actually very easily aim for a combo that would allow her to ring out. And we've realized that. And so we wanted to preserve her ability to charge her attacks and play in that unique way, but we're going to fix her up so that she doesn't become a balance breaker. She can't do those instant ring outs or those kind of high damage combos. So rather than just becoming a character who only aims for ring outs, Hilda will now become a character who maximizes her reach and plays very strongly from long range.
So she's still a short character, but her gameplay is not based on it.
That's exactly correct. We want people to feel that Hilda has, of course, the option to charge, and those charge attacks will be much more powerful and beneficial, but you can actually play her quite successfully without them as well.
Okay, I see. So second is Tira. She's a special character since she has two personalities, which are jolly and gloomy stances. So, but the fact is that she is so random, you know. She changes stance, but it's random. You can't choose. So, will you still keep that random in this character, or will you make the player to have more control with her?
And of course, we're actually still taking in feedback from the players, and of course, even the video that you're recording right now, we will take as feedback and go back and continue to develop Tira. So we also think she's a very interesting character with her jolly and gloomy stances. So we want to be able to have the players also experience those interesting features.
And the fact that she loses life when she's in gloomy stance, will you keep that or change it? Because it's especially hard for her when the opponents and her have life like this, and she loses it because she's in gloomy, you see? So will you change that?
So Mr. Odashima is going to be able to see this video and see the comments that we've been receiving here at Gamescom, and we'll be able to continue to revise and develop Tira based on this. The current Tira that you're seeing and the one we have here available at Gamescom is not quite done yet. We've only begun her balancing and her development.
Okay, so for players, they have to feedback a lot, so you listen to them. Okay. And now about Maxi, you say that Ivy, you made her a little less complicated. You made less stances than Soulcalibur 4, and I want to know if it will be the same for Maxi, since he has a lot of stance.
He's evolved a long way since the first game, but he's always had those detailed stances, those many stances, so that aspect of him will probably remain. But of course, along his evolution, he's received many moves or many aspects of him that were kind of junk. He really didn't need that in there. So those will be revised or removed, and we will continue to push Max in a way that he can be accessible, but still keep his personality where he does all these stances with crazy nunchucks.
Because Maxi players want him to still have many stances because they like the way he has to be played like that. And now for Voldo, he's a character in Soulcalibur 4 that was really based on critical finish because his moves really break the guards fast. And now that there is no critical finish in Soulcalibur 5, how do you think he should be played?
So for Soulcalibur 5, of course, one of the most central components of the game is the new critical edge system. And we want all the players and all the characters to be able to use the critical edge very efficiently, very effectively. So that should be one of their primary objectives when they're playing, is to aim for the critical edge. So in some regards, Voldo really won't change that much. Instead of aiming for a critical finish, he's going to aim for a critical edge a little bit more.
And does Voldo still have a lot of stances? Or because in Soulcalibur 4 he has many stances, and then will you make it simpler like Ivy, or?
We want players to understand that what we're aiming for is for the character to be accessible. And accessibility is the key word this time. And, you know, we saw often with Ivy, she was quite complicated, so many players couldn't use her. They were interested in her, but they couldn't use her. So they were just sort of looking at Ivy and never quite using her. So we want to make all the characters, including Voldo, be quite accessible.
I would like to know, since Namco really wants the game to be alive for a long time, if you will help the community for events or things like that.
コミュニティとのつながり
So we're looking forward to working with the communities and helping them out at events or participating in community events with them. And we're also exploring many other avenues in which we can work with the communities and make sure that the game lives for a long time. So we're still thinking about that on our side, but of course we do recognize tournaments and other events as something that we must take an interest in and we must join with the community in.
未来はないんではないかなと思っています。
It would be really nice to see you in tournaments to watch players play.
そうですね。
It is my opinion that we have many talented members in the Soulcalibur team, so I would like them as well to participate in tournaments and other events, such as Mr. Odashima or Mr. Ozawa. I would like to see many of the talented Soulcalibur members participate in events and see the players directly.
一つの夢です。
That's really good to hear. ありがとう。My last question now is a personal one for you. How do you see the future of Soulcalibur and its community?
そうですね。我々誰に対してゲームを作ってるのか。
So for the future of Soulcalibur, it's really a very simple thing to say. Who controls the future of the series is, of course, the players, our customers. So we have to look at what those customers want, what those customers are expecting from us, and act accordingly. And that will, of course, determine the health and the future of the game. If we don't do that, then it dies.
ソウルキャリバーとコミュニティの未来だと思ってます。
So I can already say that we want a Soulcalibur 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
No.
100. Yeah, I hope so. So thank you. ありがとう。ありがとうございます。
Soulcalibur 5